everybody, and welcome to CMSportsNet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. We've got Manchester Valley taking on Francis Scott Key, and we're looking forward to a really good game. Before we get to that, it's time for the pregame report.
The pregame report is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
I'm Pat Stetzer, and once again, welcome to CMSportsNet's Game of the Week. Tonight we've got a girls basketball game between county rivals Manchester Valley and this year's champion, Francis Scott Key. And with me to break it all down is Emily Miller, former standout at Westminster High School and Division I college basketball player. Emily, thanks again for joining us for a Game of the Week.
Thanks for having me, Pat.
Absolutely, absolutely. So like I said, we've got Manchester Valley. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Carroll County Athletic League standing as we get ready for this game between Man Valley and Francis Scott Key. The Mavericks are 13-4 and 7-3 in the county, and they ended a brief two-game slide by beating Century 50-15 on Wednesday. The Eagles come into this game at 16-2 and a perfect 10-0 in the county. FSK clinched their first county title since 2019 after they beat Westminster 48-40 on Wednesday. Emily, as someone who knows the feeling of winning county championships, what do you think it was like for Key to wrap it up with a few games still to go in the regular season?
What an accomplishment for this group of young student athletes. It's so incredible to capture that county crown, and even more incredible to not have it come down to a game like tonight or a game for next week.
Right.
So not that, I don't think the Key team is looking past this game, but they know that they have secured this county championship. They should be very proud of themselves.
Let's take a look at the team stats, and you'll see how the Mavericks and the Eagles stack up shooting-wise. FSK has the edge in a lot of these categories. Statistically, they are actually the top shooting team in Carroll County. I talked a little bit last week during our Game of the Week about three-point shooting. As a former player at the high school and college level, how much have you seen that three-point shot just change the game at both those levels?
It can be a huge momentum swing, Pat, and it can also really set the tone for a game. If you're on, you're on. If you're not, then it can be a very difficult night. So I expect tonight, if we have two teams that are on with shooting the three-point, it's going to be a very exciting game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And FSK, like we mentioned, one of the top shooting teams in Carroll County. Man Valley, a little bit behind them, but I expect a pretty good matchup. And speaking of matchups, let's take a look at our matchup of the game. Figures to be a pretty good one. It's Man Valley senior Carmea Bowman and FSK senior Allie Mathias. Mathias has Bowman in points and rebounds per game, but Bowman does have an edge defensively in steals as you take a look at their stats there. The last time we did one of these games, Bowman really shined. I know you were commenting a lot about how she uses her left hand successfully. Mathias is going to be a challenge in the post. I have no doubts. Any thoughts on these two all-county players and just how they're going to possibly match up tonight?
Really looking forward to it, Pat. I mean, it sounds like each of their style of plays a little bit different. So oftentimes it doesn't work out that the two star players can be matched up with one another, but there's nothing like a true head-on-head rivalry and matchup we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, those were the kind of the key factors that was before the game gets started. We're going to take a quick break, though, and come back a little bit later with the starting lineups, the national anthem, and the opening tip. Emily and I will be back soon. Don't go anywhere. Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments. The CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's To Go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
It's our new podcast, and each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss The Score and More podcast, presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
All right, welcome back. CM Sportsnet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. Pat Stetzer and Emily Miller here with you. Got a few minutes to go before we get started with the national anthem and the lineups. Just wanted to talk a little bit about these two teams. Manchester Valley was last year's reigning Carroll County Athletic League champions. Having a really good season so far, like we mentioned, 13-4. Stumbled a little bit the last couple weeks against some teams, especially Westminster, but they rebounded in a big way. They took on Century on Wednesday the 1st, and 24-12 halftime lead, and wound up outscoring Man Valley 26-3 in the second half to pull away for a convincing win, 50-15. Emily, we saw Man Valley in our game of the week last week against Liberty. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I should say. What, if you can think back, obviously Carmea, their top player, but what are some of the other things you saw from Man Valley and how they're able to be so successful on the court?
We saw that night that they played Liberty, we saw a fantastic performance from Emma Penchik and a couple of the other supporting players.
Right.
So what's impressive about this team is, of course, you have a fantastic superstar in Carmea, but you also have a nice supporting staff, and you saw a team that just athletically Liberty could not keep up with. So it makes a difference.
It does, and when you're coached by Heather Deweese, who's been around since the school opened. I know you know Heather pretty well. We've watched her coach some teams to the regional finals, and she coached her daughter Mackenzie, who's playing now at Quinnipiac in Division I. When you've got that intangible, that coach, it can take you into some of those games where you don't start out that hot. Next thing you know, your coach is rallying you up and you're back in the game. Yeah, it sounds like coach speak, but there is something to that, isn't there?
Absolutely, and there's a common thread in many of the teams that Heather Deweese has coached in the past, and it's just toughness. You know, whether that's physical toughness or mental toughness, she sets the bar very high for her programs, and she expects a lot out of her team.
Speaking of toughness, Francis Scott Key has shown its toughness all year. I mean, they're undefeated in county play. They're 16-2 overall. They haven't lost in about 3 weeks. They just beat Westminster on Wednesday in a close game. Westminster definitely gave them a game. But, you know, you mentioned how deep, how balanced FSK is. We've talked about them during the season. Raina Miller, one of their seniors, comes off the bench on Wednesday and isn't known for her threes. And there she hits 4 out of 5 3-pointers, giving her team a big boost. Yeah. They were able to pull away from Westminster, or hold on, I should say, for a 48-40 win. Allie Mathias is their top player, but they've got a lot of top players on this team. Right. They're so balanced. Drew Watkins, Summer Brooks, and Abby Rieger in the backcourt. Caroline Core is only a sophomore into the basket, grabbing 6 boards a game. That balance, and I think back to your teams when you guys had a good balance like that too at Westminster, it can take you pretty far. If one person's not on, the other 4 can pick you up. It's
the scariest thing when you're looking at a lineup before a game and you've got 5 players that you don't have one that you could put a weak defender on, right? And that seems like Francis Scott Key. They're firing on literally all 5 cylinders, at least with this starting group. So it may take something tonight like an early foul trouble to kind of throw off that balance. Right. But it is a beautiful thing when you have 5 strong players who are equally talented at all their different locations.
They've definitely showed that this year on the court. They go a little fast sometimes for their own good, but they always find a way to kind of bring it back. Sure. A couple times we've seen them. Of course, these two teams played already this year. FSK won 40-30, but interestingly enough, Man Valley, I believe, was up 16 or 18-2 in the first quarter before Key woke up at Manchester Valley. So it's not to say that FSK is by far and away the favorite. Of course, their record would indicate that they're the favorite team, but to win the game. But Man Valley knows how to penetrate the FSK defense. Credit FSK for coming back in that game. But in a rematch like that, do you think back a lot on the most recent game, or you just think about what you've been doing the last couple of weeks and use that to your advantage?
I think you look at where you are in the timeline of the season. The next week or two is a great time for a team to start to get towards the peak, right? You want to peak right at playoffs. So it's not always, maybe we let one go early on, or maybe tonight's not our night, but we'll see how it goes. I think we're going to have a tough matchup tonight.
Is this the most fun time of the year? If you could think back when the calendar gets to February and now you know the playoffs are about 2.5 weeks away. You want to finish strong, but you want to be peaking at the end of this month and hopefully into March.
It's the most tired time of the year. I will put it that way.
Resting up as much as you can, right, to get ready for the playoffs.
Definitely.
And soon enough, it becomes that one and done mentality.
So. Yeah, and you get to the point where you're just so excited to play. You love your team. You love your coach. You just don't want it to end.
Right. All right, we're going to head back to the gym now as we get started for the CM Sportsnet Game of the Week, Manchester Valley and Francis Scott Key. There's a look at Beer Gymnasium. So the pregame is about to come to an end, and I believe we're going to have the national anthem, and then we're going to get followed with the starting lineups, and we'll have those for you momentarily. Let's go ahead and take a listen in at FSK's gym for the national anthem.
Good evening and welcome to Louis B. Beer Gymnasium at Francis Scott Key High School, where tonight your Eagles will host the Manchester Valley Mavericks. Now would you please stand and gentlemen remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, I hear the nat anthem.
And now for tonight's starting lineups. First for the visiting Mavericks. Guard, senior number 5.
All right, it's time for the starting lineups. Manchester Valley is going to go first.
Guard, sophomore number 2, Emma Penchik. Guard, junior number 4.
It's going to be Casey Meredith, Emma Penchik, Emily in the backcourt, along with Autumn Stottlemyre, Aubrey Chopper, and there you see Carmea Bowman, number 20. She'll come out last. It's sort of their lone big. I say big, but she plays as a guard forward there for Man Valley. So a little bit of a smaller size lineup for Man Valley, but certainly aggressive on defense. And we're going to see all 5 of them are going to need to be on their game to stack up against FSK. As you see their lineup with Abby Rieger, Summer Brooks, Drew Watkins, senior Ali Mathias, and sophomore Caroline Core underneath. It's Rieger and Brooks in the backcourt, and Watkins is kind of their swing. It's just like you mentioned, Emily, it's a fast-moving team that wants to get up the court as much as possible, but can play the half court if needed. And, we were matching up Carmea Bowman and Ali Mathias. That takes nothing away from the other 4 girls on each side of the court. As you see Ali getting ready for the tip.
Absolutely. Sometimes when the focus is on 2 players, there's a lot of room for someone else to shine.
These 2 played earlier in January, and FSK came away with a 40-30 win, low-scoring game in Manchester. Huge start for Man Valley in that game, and then they got cold and also ran into some tighter FSK defense. So the defensive matchup could be, whoever can kind of prevail early on, like you mentioned earlier about foul troubles or what have you. Whoever can play that strong defense could really find themselves in the driver's seat come time for the 4th quarter.
I know we're in Uniontown, but I would think it would be a little bit out of character for the Mavs to let a team crawl back in from that far down, twice in a row, especially the same opponent. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Glad you're sitting here with me as we get ready for the CMSportsNet girls basketball game of the week. Like Emily said, from Uniontown, looks like a pretty good crowd filling in at Beer Gymnasium. The unique gym in Carroll County, only one side has bleachers, so it's definitely a little more raucous on this side of the court. But here we go, Man Valley going towards the right on your screen and Key going to the left. And we got the opening tip. And that was tipped out by Key, so Man Valley will start. And there's Emma Penchik, number 2. She was limited last week against Westminster, coming back from illness. Looks like she's back healthy here and ready to go. And right away, attacking the rim.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Number 13, Aubrey Chopper, scoring the first 2 points of the game. And looks like a turnover for FSK.
It's a great start for Manchester Valley. Very aggressive play. Obviously not leaning back, taking it right to the hoop, right off the bat. That does set a statement.
Yeah, how big? Well, I'll ask you this in a minute after these possessions here as the three-pointer goes in from the far corner, and right away, Man Valley, just like last time they played, off to a 5-0 lead. Strong start. Now it looks like Man Valley wants to be in a little bit of a zone. And there's a steal.
Still great start for Manchester Valley.
Number 5, Casey Meredith. Yep. She'll take that 3 over there. She does like the 3.
It's a tough shot from that baseline, but they've already proven the rim's friendly tonight.
Yes, so far.
Great shot from downtown.
Well, it couldn't start any better for Manchester Valley. Shot off the rim from Core. Nice pass down low from Matthias to Watkins, and we got a foul called on Carmea Bowman.
It's going to be on the floor.
So yeah, Man Valley certainly off to a strong start here. Key.
Shown a very balanced attack.
Yep.
They've drained a couple outside shots and had some really good drives to the basket.
Key needed a little time to wake up, but we're 90 seconds in here.
Sometimes it takes a couple minutes. You know, you mentioned the defense. Is this a zone? Is it a matchup zone? You know, where are the key matchups? And what offense are we going to use to break through this?
Yep. Summer Brooks misses on that, fires on that 3, and there's Carmea Bowman in the lane with her left hand. A little short. Matthias with the rebound. And here come the Eagles. Matthias will take a 3. A little off the mark.
A little off the mark. Might have been a little bit rushed, but not a bad look.
Now it's FSK in the 3-2 zone. Little push shot from Casey Meredith, doesn't fall. Carmea Bowman went for the rebound, but I think she was out of bounds, so the ball is going to go to FSK.
Already seeing the tone of this game is going to be a lot of back and forth, I think. You know, up and down, good defense. If that's the case, we're going to see a lot of different subs. We're going to get to see a lot of different players tonight.
And if that's the case, I would give a slight advantage on that in that note to Man Valley. FSK is not quite as deep, but they will get girls on the bench. There's a steal by Penchik.
There's little Emma.
And there she goes. Oh, doesn't finish with the nice play defensively. Got to finish those layups if you want to try to.
Emma Penchik is averaging about just over 4 steals per game, and if she shows up with at least 4 steals per game tonight, there's 2.
Yeah, she leads the county, Emily.
She's ahead of pace.
Oh, there's Abby Rieger getting one right back.
Oh.
Deflected. We got some back and forth here
we do.
On the court. Both these teams probably want to settle down a little bit as Drew Watkins, number 15, couldn't handle the pass, and it's a turnover. And Man Valley's ball again under the basket. 5:17 to go in the first quarter, and it's 8-0 in favor of the Mavericks. A great start for the visiting team.
I like this. Very aggressive 3-quarter and full court presses by each team.
Raina Miller gives it off after that turnover to Summer
Fantastic.
Brooks, who finishes. And the first points on the board for the Eagles. Carmea took it down the lane.
Oh, almost got the call.
Yeah,
not quite.
Nothing there, but right. Abby Rieger will bring it back up. Raina Miller is in the game now, number 10 for FSK, and he throws 4 threes the other day, and there's one.
She was far too
There's
open for
another
that
one
shot.
for
Yeah.
Raina Miller, number 10, the senior. And look, just like that, 8-5.
Great composure by Raina to kind of step up and knock it down. And
That's a 2, I think, but a long 2, yes, for
Man
Autumn
Valley
Stottlemyre.
answers right back. We're going to have a block for Emma Penchik there on the sideline, so just a little bit too aggressive on the.
It's fast-paced here in the first half.
It is.
First
I like
half
it.
of the first quarter.
I like it. Not that I don't like spending time with you, but it makes the game go faster, Pat.
It's more fun to watch when it goes fast like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, a little bit of foul trouble here or there could make a huge difference. And
So
there's Emma.
dangerous. Emma Penchik again.
That's her third steal. It's finished.
This time she does finish it.
This time she drives it home. Great job.
So she's already got 3 steals, and we're not even halfway through the first quarter.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to take your eye off the ball in this game.
Rieger gets it to Matthias. Long inside
Great
pass
high-low.
to Caroline
Oh, that's
Core.
beautiful.
And the sophomore finishes number 23 off the glass. Give the assist to Matthias.
Beautiful court vision by Matthias there to be able to see her teammate with a fantastic post-up. Great finish. Well executed by Key.
Makes it 12-7.
From
Penchik will try a long 3. Last 2 weeks ago, that was a good pass. Remember, Liberty and Westminster tried.
That was an alley-oop.
That's right, alley-oop.
Yeah, I can't give her an alley-oop on
Liberty
that.
and Man
but
Valley did that once, and you called it an alley-oop to
Yeah.
somebody underneath who finished
that
it.
way would point to what, Frederick County, or
I think so.
I think she was over
Union
the board.
Bridge.
She was in Union Bridge for that one.
Not Uniontown, but
No.
anyway, it's a turnover and or it's a out of bounds to the Eagles. Still going to be some pressure here from Man Valley. Going to have that trap.
Oh, a dangerous spot.
And Rieger tried to get through a double team, and it did not work. So turnover for the Mavericks. I think that might be Reese Crestline. Tried an inbounds pass to Bowman, or an underneath pass, and it comes back out to the top. Molly Smith in now for the Mavericks. Her layout doesn't go, her runner. Back come the Eagles.
Sometimes we have some intense defense. You got to make sure you're not rushing the looks.
Allie
Look
Mathias
at that.
says, "I'll
Allie
take that
Mathias,
3."
Great range.
She'll
Again,
take it.
wide open. There
Yep.
wasn't anyone within probably 10 feet of her.
And the Eagles have come back. It's 12-10, Manchester Valley.
It's going to be very difficult for either of these teams to continue to play a zone if these three-pointers are falling
I'm
tonight,
a little
Pat.
surprised that they've both gone to so much zone already, but looks like now Man Valley might have gone into a bit of more of a man defense. Looks like coming in, some substitutions there for.
I don't know Coach Devlin well, but it will be interesting to watch his coaching style against Heather Deweese's tonight.
Yeah, Coach TJ Devlin of FSK won the county title back in 2019, and that was the first time FSK had gotten a county championship since the 80s. Now they're trying to make it 2. And here
Great
comes a
steal.
steal by Summer Brooks. And she'll try to draw contact, and no foul called. So letting them play a little bit here in the first quarter.
Absolutely.
Back come the Mavericks. So the
Ooh.
Eagles would, right to Abby Rieger for a steal, number 3.
Nice.
Ooh, a little bit of a
move.
Euro step.
Yeah, nice move,
And
Allie.
the foul called. Abby Rieger.
Or Abby.
It's okay. 5'7" senior guard. Oh, excuse me, a sophomore guard. Called her a senior. She's playing like a senior.
Absolutely.
Now, she's one of the top guards in the county as well.
It's great to see young players up on the varsity level. It gives you some hope. You get some fun basketball to watch the next couple of years.
She's on the line for 2. First one around the rim and no good. Abby averaging 4.1 steals per game. We mentioned Penchik leading the county. Abby Rieger not too far behind her.
Yeah, not at
A little
all.
short on both free throws. Allie Mathias got the rebound, but her shot was a little off the mark. And Man Valley comes down the other way with 2:10 to go in the first quarter. Back to the zone for Key. Reese Crestline in the game now for Mavs, number 11. And there's a steal by Brooks. Summer Brooks has her hands on the ball a lot on offense and defense for FSK. Another great guard to look at in the county.
Absolutely. Great active defense. And you
She's
know,
only a 10th grader. Oh, another steal. Penchik, and she's going to get called for a foul.
Oh, maybe a little bit of frustration there for Abby, or was that Abby Rieger?
It
Or
was Summer Brooks, number 4.
A little bit of frustration,
after
back
the
and
steal,
forth. Yeah.
I think Emma wound up kind of tripping on her own down the lane there, but it definitely was a foul on Brooks.
These young ladies are competitive. I think they both play for very competitive coaches, so it's
And Emma Penchik well on her way to her average steals per game. And we haven't gotten through the first quarter yet.
correct, yes. Way ahead of pace.
Yeah. It's going to be something that Key has to deal with.
You know, a double-double is always neat, but I think a triple-double is amazing when you have somebody who can
There's
add
a
another
long
stat line
2.
to that.
They're going to call that a 3.
I think it was a 3,
Yep.
yeah.
And down the other way, Drew
Great.
Watkins.
Great hustle by Drew to get down there, and what great court vision by her teammate to pass the ball nearly the entire length of the court to find her.
Yep. Looked like maybe
That
she
might
took
have been
one
some
step
extra-
too many from Crestline. Yeah, they
extra,
called a
yeah.
travel. So 1:12 to go, and Man Valley holding on to the 3-point lead, 15-12. As you see, Coach DeWeese talking to one of her players. Again, preparation is never something that Man Valley lacks with a Heather DeWeese coach team, as you talked about in the pregame show, Emily.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm certain they have a game plan, and they probably know it frontwards, backwards, sideways, diagonals,
I think you're right.
from the back of the paper.
Right now, the game plan is to be feisty on defense, and that's what they're doing.
Absolutely, and to execute when you get some open shots on the outside.
Yep, as
See,
they have so far.
Key's zone here is fantastic. They're in the shooter's face, and they're really making it hard to penetrate the middle there. Probably not the best shot for
Molly
Man
Smith tried
Valley.
it. Drew Watkins take that jump shot.
Nice little pull
A
up.
short,
Oh, it just
though.
didn't fall for
Yep,
her.
it was a good look. As we're under 30 seconds to go.
Drew's really shown her athleticism, running the floor very well.
They definitely have athletes. Carmel step back.
Just a little off the mark tonight there.
Mathias tried to get that outlet. Olivia a little too fast. And Man Valley gets it back.
Ooh.
Number 25, Emma Schaefer goes to the lane, goes to the hole, I should say, and it gets a foul call. Foul drawn by number 1, Allie Mathias. So Schaefer will go to the line for 2 with 16 seconds to go, and a 15-12 Manchester Valley lead. First one a little long.
Neither team super strong on the foul line tonight.
Correct. Still looking for the first made free throw.
I think we are, yeah.
For 4 so far. Quickly up court. Miller back to Rieger. Cross court to Watkins. She likes to take a 3. A little long, and a rebound to Smith, Molly Smith from Man Valley.
Cool.
So that's the end of the first quarter. Well, some back and forth action to start things off. First 8 minutes in the books. Man Valley 15, Francis Scott Key 12, and Man Valley got the start it wanted, Emily, and then FSK sort of got themselves back into the game.
Yeah, and you know, we kind of joked about it, but we have 2 of the county's leading steals in the defenders on the court, and you're seeing the back and forth there.
That's
you know,
true.
They're both ahead of their pace of their average, and that's going to make for an exciting remainder of this game if the defensive intensity remains where it is.
Yeah, with Abby Rieger and Summer Brooks on FSK's side, and certainly Emma Penchik and Casey Meredith on the Man Valley side. Not to say that the other girls don't get their hands in there on defense too, but somebody is going to probably need to emerge here in the second quarter to sort of establish themselves offensively as the go-to player. I don't know who that's going to be, but we're gonna find out here in the next 8 minutes.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple little frustration fouls. You know, I threw the ball away, now I'm going to foul. You know, or I'm not moving my feet, or I'm going to take a swing because it feels good. So we just need to be careful we don't get into foul trouble here in this type of game where literally probably the team that is going to be the most intense defensively will be victorious tonight.
And we mentioned that FSK has clinched the county, and that's obviously a great accomplishment. But this game's still important for both these teams in terms of getting a win to better themselves in the regional playoffs. Now, they're in different classifications. FSK's in 1A, Man Valley's in 3A, but wins are wins, and you're trying to have home games in the playoffs. This is a big deal.
Absolutely, and you don't want to let down and you know, take your foot off the pedal at this time of the season. So I would say and even if you think it's going to be kind of boring before the game, as soon as the whistle goes, you know, it totally changes.
Sure. So Key starts it in the second quarter. Summer Brooks on the near side here. Cross court to Abby Rieger. Back up top to Watkins. Summer will take those long threes.
Oh.
A little off the mark, and a rebound to Emma Penchik, I believe.
Yep.
She'll pull up at the free throw
3
line.
on
Off the
2.
glass. No good. Gets her rebound.
Oh, look at her. Great
That's Emma
effort,
Penchik.
great hustle play, yeah.
Another 10th grader.
She's only a 10th grader?
Yes, she is.
Good for her.
You think she's fast on the basketball court? Wait till we see her in the spring on the lacrosse field. Ali Mathias tried to muscle in through the lane. No good.
A little bit of an elbow there, but to your point, Pat, they're letting them play tonight.
They are. And 17-12 lead for Man Valley. Penchik inside to Bowman. Nice pass to number 25, Emma Schaefer. Just couldn't hit the baseline jumper.
Great
And here
rebound
come
by
the
Abby
Eagles.
Rieger.
Yep.
Great positioning.
Yep.
Oh,
She's in there in a double team. That's not a good spot to be in, but
no.
it stays here. Again, just hands everywhere on defense for Man Valley and FSK for that matter. But we're seeing, like you mentioned, Emily, the top guards all around in the county with Rieger and Brooks and Penchik.
Mm-hmm.
Got it inside. There's our matchup, and a block by Bowman on Matthias. Back comes Man Valley. Nice jump shot from Emma Schaefer, number 25. And the lead is 7.
When you have the zone defense, you got to find those little openings, and that was a great job by Emma from slipping in that open spot and knocking down that mid-range jumper.
Mm-hmm. Now Man Valley sort of softens it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Watkins will take a 3. That's long.
Yeah.
Rebound to Meredith. Casey Meredith finds. Layup is good underneath. And let's see, is TJ going to let it go? He is.
Yeah.
I thought I saw maybe the hands coming in for a timeout.
Well, you know, I thought maybe that was a little bit too easy of a layup, and
there it is.
there, yeah.
He wanted to get it across half court.
He thought about it for a second, yeah.
So the first time out of the game goes to FSK, and probably a smart one as it's a 21-12 lead for Manchester Valley. 30-second timeout called by Coach Devlin and the Eagles. And right now, Man Valley is just, we mentioned about clicking on all cylinders. Right now, it's the Mavericks, who have started off very, very strong in this game.
We've seen great execution. They've been able to hit a couple open shots from the outside. As we mentioned, it's tough in the zone. You got to try to find the openings. We had Emma Schaefer the last time down the court. She found a little niche there. She just scoots right in, and she's knocking them down. We haven't seen too much from Carmea yet, but she, even just her presence on the court makes a difference for her teammates.
Sure.
So even if she doesn't show up in the stats, you know she's in there. She's rebounding. She's taking up space.
Had the big block down there a minute ago.
And Keys had a couple nice looks on the outside, and despite being in their home gym, they haven't really been able to knock down too many of them. And until they do, they're going to really pack it in, and that's going to affect Allie Matthias on the inside as she's really fighting hard to get position and to get some low post action in there.
So I think it's a 6-7-0 run here to start. The 6-0 run to start this. And the turnover right out of the timeout. Not what you wanted if you're TJ Devlin and the Eagles.
I can almost guarantee you didn't draw that up.
No.
Yeah.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah. But you see Carmea and Allie Matthias down there, and again, you know, they may not be touching the ball, but do not take for granted how hard they're working in that low post.
They are matching up with each other as Casey Meredith will take a 3.
Ooh,
a little off the mark. Rebound finds its way to Reese Crestline, blocked by Allie Matthias, and I think that's going to be a turnover.
It is.
As the ball landed in Crestline's hands on the baseline. So a nice play by Matthias. Back-to-back blocks now from our post players that we profiled at the pregame. Carmea Bowman and Allie Matthias. FSK wants to get its offense going here.
Not much there.
Rieger. Almost a steal. Raina Miller will take the 3, and she hits it.
And that's her second tonight that she's drained, so.
She's been hot in the last couple of games for FSK, and they needed that one to kind of get a little bit back into this one at 21-15. There's a 3 in the corner from Penchik. That Rieger grabs the rebound.
It's a great chance for Key to really capitalize on a swing of momentum here, and if we see another big shot, that might just do it.
And Watkins smartly goes down the lane and draws a foul. That may be 2 on Carmea Bowman. She's already sort of headed to the sideline. I think she knows it. So now Watkins has a chance to cut to the lead.
Great take by Drew Watkins here. We've seen already in this game that she is not afraid of the contact, and that is very valuable in a player.
The 5'9" junior listed as a guard, but again, she's more of the guard forward, I think, in this offense, and there's one.
There we go. First made free throw. Still to this day, free throws just, I don't know, it's something about being a basketball, free shots.
I know. Pressure.
Yeah.
It's added pressure.
You can live and die by the free throw.
Yep.
Very cool under pressure, Drew Watkins.
I was going to ask you, I wonder what not just rhetorically, what the percentages are. If you make the first one, you almost always make the second one, right?
It helps.
It definitely goes up, the number, your chance.
I'm sure there's a study somewhere.
Yeah. Look that up for me next time.
Yeah, of course.
21-17 now, Man Valley, and a steal by Drew Watkins. think that was poked away by Casey Meredith. So good defense on both sides, but the Eagles will keep the ball here under the basket with 4:25 left in the second quarter.
Great hustle play again by that Drew Watkins, showing up on both ends of the court for the Eagles.
They've got a lot of players like that.
Yeah.
Inside,
Great
there was
pass.
a nice pass inside
Good
Caroline
finish.
Core. A little bit off of her feet there, and
Yeah.
she got kind of behind herself a
A little bit
there.
off balance, but that was a
yeah.
great post entry.
It was. It was.
Good post up by Miss Core.
6-foot sophomore Caroline Core.
Ooh,
Casey Meredith spots up for a three, in and out,
great box
and a
out.
rebound for FSK. Give that one to 30. Oh, there's Caroline Core. Was that Core? I think it was. Regardless, it's a layup for Eagles. The Eagles, and now all of a sudden it's 21-19.
It was a key player, yes.
I'm pretty sure it was Caroline. We've got Kenzie Bancroft in the game, another sophomore, 5'11". So TJ Devlin trying to get some size, extra size in there. You see her down here guarding now, top of the key. A little muscle there.
Great take.
Ooh, call to travel.
I thought there could have been two different calls there, and that was the third one I wasn't
I
anticipating.
don't think Aubrey Chopper, number 13 from Man Valley, liked it,
I don't
but it
think
was
she-
called
yeah.
for steps. And we're going the other way now. And we got a 3-point game. 2-point game. 21-19. And there's Bancroft. And look at that. Comes off the bench. Cooley hits a 15-footer. We got a tie score with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. So we've got sophomores a galore here on both sides of the court doing good things for the
Yeah.
varsity. That's always good to see. Here's another
Yeah.
sophomore, Emma Penchik,
Didn't quite fall.
in and out. And here comes FSK. Nice pass. Oh, nice pass by Raina Miller. Count the bucket to Drew Watkins, number 15, and she's going to the line to try to hit a 3-point play as FSK has its first lead of the game at 23-21.
Great unselfish play there by Raina Miller. You have a little 2-on-1, and sometimes that can be the most high-pressure situation because you have one or two choices: do it yourself or pass it to your teammate. But great decision-making for Raina Miller there, and Drew continues to shine tonight as she finishes the play and draws the foul.
I think we have a 9-0 run now by FSK to make it a 23-21 game. It's a full timeout taken by Manchester Valley. You know, with Carmeo on the bench, too, the Eagles have capitalized since she left with 2 fouls. And hey, look, that's what you got to do sometimes when you're the team trailing and you see the other team's star player go out. Let's attack.
Right.
And they've attacked the last couple times down the court.
And to our point earlier, just because Carmea may not be showing up in points at this point, the fact that Key has been able to go on a 9-0 run, it really does speak to her presence on the court defensively, and just by being there, you know, it makes it tougher for Man Valley to execute some of their, Key to execute some of their plays.
Yeah, let's make it actually an 11-0 run. I'm not the best
Okay.
with math, so you have to help me out here.
Me either.
It was 21-12, and now it's 23-21. So I think that's 11. Regardless, though, your point is definitely valid.
You know, in a couple big plays for the Eagles, Drew Watkins is shining very brightly lately. She's been able to have some good finishes and some good tough hustle plays, and
Yeah.
that does a lot. You know, if you're a little bit nervous going into the game, sometimes some of those big hustle plays really kind of set you back into a point where you feel comfortable and you're, oh, this is the offense, or this is nothing we've never seen before. Let's go out there and just execute.
Drew Watkins second on the team in scoring, 10.2 points per game. And she also adds 2 assists per game. So it's not like she's coming out of nowhere. But you're right, Emily. She has taken this opportunity to step in and become. And we also haven't seen all that much of Valley Mathias yet offensively either. So she has the 3-pointer from earlier on. But so far, Watkins with 7 points in this half.
Yep, it's a game of runs, and
It
that's
sure
very obvious tonight. Tough take.
That was a nice move to get
That
inside.
was a nice little move.
By 25 Schaefer, but it didn't fall, and FSK the other way with a 3-point lead. Down low, Watkins. I think they're going to call it over the back, yeah. Down low, Watkins almost got that to fall. Rebound got its way to Bancroft, but she committed the over-the-back foul. And Man Valley will have the ball with 2:22 to go in the half. And a 24-21 Francis Scott Key lead, and we haven't seen the likes of Penchik and Chopper scoring like we did earlier on. And there's a steal, and Summer Brooks comes up with it. Raina Miller uses that right hand for a hook, little short. Nice move into the lane.
Great move by Raina.
And a good box out and the rebounds for Manchester Valley. Under 2 to go in the second quarter. The Mavs looking at their first deficit of the game. Jumper from Schaefer won't go, and Brooks with the rebound. The court vision. And we got a jump ball. Nice play by Man Valley to create that jump ball. I think to give that to Schaefer, 25.
Yeah. To your point, Pat, there's been, I think the last 2 trips down the court, there has been somebody open on that right block, and probably a little bit too open for the likes of Heather DeWeese.
Yes.
So that's one thing. As you're involved in these intense games, you still have to hustle back on defense, because obviously there are horses in the race that can get back there.
Especially with the court vision of the guards of FSK, Brieger and Brooks. We see Carmea Bowman back in the game, number 20. She just inbounded it into Emma Penchik, number 2. And Key back in their sort of shifty zone here.
Some
hands by Watkins. Keeps it, it's going to stay Man Valley, but Watkins again getting in the way of the passing lane. It's just not that easy when you're playing FSK to try to find those passes.
And I know sometimes a zone defense looks like it is, but it is not hard. It is not easy.
Especially with the
zone.
size and the height, the length that Key possesses. There's a little bit of a
off the mark
3 there from the corner. I think that might have been Reese Crestline taking the 3 there for Man Valley. So Key gets it back. 1:05 left. Elena Miller and Emma Penchik probably don't expect to be guarding themselves too much. Matthias lost it going up, I think, and Bowman with the rebound may have deflected the ball.
Good defense by Bowman. That's that matchup there.
Nice pass underneath.
Finish.
Crestline, a little long on the, but a nice look from Bowman and a nice move to get open by Crestline. Just couldn't get the shot to fall.
That pass had some mustard on it.
There's Matthias down the lane, and they might call Carmea for another foul. Ooh. Let's see. That's her 3rd, I think, if that's the case.
That's definitely the case.
Well, that's a risky move to have her in there. You just got to play smart, and Matthias knew it. She's smart too, and she's going to go attack the girl with 2 fouls. That happens to be Carmea Bowman.
Absolutely.
And we won't see her, I don't think, for a little while now, with definitely the rest of this half, as Matthias goes to the line for 2.
You can't say that it wasn't a bad, she was playing defense. It wasn't anything, aggressive.
She lost her position,
Yeah.
right? So Matthias is a smart player and knows how to get to the basket, and your inclination not to let her go past you, that's not what you're taught.
No.
But then all of a sudden you're in bad position. Matthias on the board again, and hits that free throw, and 25-21 FSK. Man Valley can almost hold for the last shot here. And there's a turnover. Give that one to Watkins on the steal, and Mailer comes up with it, and now FSK can hold for the final shot. Long pass. Miller. Oh, Man Valley with a steal. Penchik.
Put it up, Emma.
Block at the 3-pointer, blocked by Watkins at the end of the half. Typical that's how it ends, with a defensive play.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to halftime, and FSK leads Man Valley 25-21. Defensive-minded first half. That's the score at halftime, 25-21. Don't go anywhere, though. Emily and I will be back soon, talk about the first half, and set the scene for the second half. So don't go away. The CMSportsNet Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Hi, I'm Pat Stetzer. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments. The CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go, locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's To Go, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County. What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
The CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
Welcome back, CM Sports and Athlete of the Week once again, and we're here this week with Travis Green, Manchester Valley Wrestling. Travis went 3-0 last week with 3 pins, and the team had a couple of victories last week. Travis, a good week for you last week, and it's been a good season for you that's overall. Was there anything particular last week? 3-0, 3 pins. Was it just more of the same what you've been doing, or you've been trying to work on things as the season goes along?
Well, yes, I'm trying to break some records. I think I'm tied for first place with 140 wins for 4 years. And yes, and I have 2 more pins left to reach 100, which I already broke that record for pins in all 4 years.
Is that something that you think about when you come into the program, or is it just because obviously when you put together 4 good seasons, some of those things are going to come naturally? Is that in your mind at all as you go out on the mat, or is it just, hey, if I do what I know I can do, the wins and the pins will pile up? Yes, well, I do go out there to break records and just to win and break the records. The team's having a really good year this year, and so are you. I think you're one of the only couple guys that are undefeated this year. Is that adding any more pressure when you go onto the mat, knowing that that if you lose one this week, there's still going to be more season to go. But do you want to keep that undefeated streak? Is that just a little bit more of motivation for you each and every time you go on the mat? Yes, it is nerve-wracking going in a match knowing I'm undefeated, and there's a possibility of losing that streak on my last senior year. Right. So it's a little nerve-wracking. Motivate you though to keep going out there and doing what you know how to do. Yes. Yeah. This is your last year, and postseason's about to come. A little bittersweet. Last county tournament, last regional tournament. How excited are you though to kind of get into that gear? There's still some matches to go, and you obviously want to do well at the duels. But are you starting to think about postseason and just what kind of mark you want to leave here at Man Valley? Yes, I want to go undefeated in my senior year and win states. Pretty good. It's easier said than done though. How much extra work are you going to be putting in starting as soon as possible to get ready for that postseason? I've been putting in extra work, just working out in my off time and just wrestling and coming in the room and trying my best. Well, stay healthy, man, and good luck the rest of the way. Thank you. Travis Green, this week's CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week. Want more local sports coverage? Be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
The halftime report is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
Welcome back, CM SportsNet. Girls basketball game of the week. We've reached halftime. I'm Pat Stetzer with Emily Miller. FSK leads Man Valley 25-21. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the top plays of the first half. Before we get there, though, Emily, just your thoughts on how things went. Man Valley, really good start, and then FSK chipped away.
It's definitely been, and basketball in a whole is a game of runs, and we've seen this tonight. We've had hot streaks and cold streaks. And in the middle, we've got a lot of good steals and intense defense. So we've not seen the stars show up on, say, in the scoring column, but outside of that, they are showing up, and they're obviously making an impact because we're seeing that when they're not in the game.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of those top plays from the first half. As, like we said, Man Valley leads, FSK leads Man Valley 25-21. This is the second time they've played. Of course, earlier in the season, FSK prevailed 40-30 in sort of a similar fashion.
Yeah.
And we got some highlights to show you here from the first half. As we kind of mentioned, that the matchup of the game was going to be Ali Matthias from Key against Carmea Bowman of Man Valley, but neither of those two factored into the scoring early on, as we see the three-pointer from the corner there by number 4, Autumn Stottlemyre.
Made a big impact from Man Valley right out of the gate.
And here's another one, Emma Penchik. You've been talking about her a lot in the first half.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, they knocked down some huge opportunities right out of the gate, really broke the ice for Man Valley and helped them settle into the tempo of the game.
Raina Miller got them back into it with a three-pointer. And Key just a little slow there to pick it up, and there's the defense by Penchik.
As we mentioned, both of the top county leaders in steals are well ahead of their pace with steals for this game. So I expect to see a little bit more of that in the second half. But that made a big difference in the first half as the momentum switched back and forth between the Mavs and the Eagles.
Great play there by Man Valley to sort of, and there's Penchik with a little bit of an off shot, and you'll see she stays with it. That's what you really commented on, how she stayed with it and really used the glass to her advantage.
Yeah.
Just nice presence by Emma Penchik.
Oh yeah, fantastic hustle play. And we used to say, you're patting your stats if you get a rebound and put it back up, but not on that case.
No, correct, correct. Man Valley definitely was off to a great start in this one, but FSK, after going down 6-0 run early in the second quarter, got things going back in a big way, an 11-0 run to really take command in the second quarter. And there's Raina Miller again, firing up a three-pointer.
Yeah,
she was 4 for 5 in the last game, and she was off to a really good start in this one.
Raina's have taken some great shots, and Key, to their credit, they really stopped, regrouped. Coach Devlin did a great job of kind of pulling them aside in a very key timeout, and they came out, and what they did is they just committed to their plays, they executed, and they played unselfish basketball.
I like the passing that FSK is doing right here, finding the extra man, finding the open man, really doing a good job. Here's another really nice pass from Raina Miller underneath to Drew Watkins, and she's the star of the first half so far for FSK, number 15.
Drew has been shining brightly in this first half. She's playing very tough, and to your point, Key has really run the floor very well. You play in these intense games, and when you play a lot of defense, that makes you tired. So we're seeing Key at this point probably being less tired. And
you see Watkins with a block there right at the end of the first half. So again, Man Valley starts strong, passing the ball around, and then all of a sudden, Key kind of flipped that switch in the second quarter. We're going to see more of the same, I think, in the next half. But the pivotal thing there also is number 20 for Man Valley, Carmea Bowman, 3 fouls in the first half. What's the strategy there? You know you don't want to get that fourth early, but you can't afford to sit her for too long. Heather Deweese in a little bit of a pickle there when it comes to when do I put Carmea back into the game.
Strategically, it's a tough decision because she obviously makes a difference when she's in there, whether she's scoring or not. She's still rebounding. They're still going one-on-one down in the low post.
Right.
So she does make a difference. However, you want her, if this is only a 4-point game at this point, you want her to be able to be there for your team if we're coming down the stretch. And regardless if she hasn't scored a point the entire game, that's the type of player you want in the game for your team coming down the home stretch.
And it also just changes how she approaches it. She can't be as physical as you would think, and because she won that fourth foul. So let's get back in there. The second half's about to tip off, or I should say tip off, get underway. We already tipped off in the first half. So no, we're not tipping off. But we are underway, 25-21 FSK. And we're pretty much right back where we started with the zones and the same 5 on the court.
And you do see Carmea starting in there for the Mavs.
That's true.
It's a vote of confidence from Coach Deweese that she can control herself defensively.
Matthias stays with it. Nice.
Great
stay with
finish.
It by Matthias.
Great finish. I'd
So
expect
you're right.
I'd expect Key to go right at her too. So I think you're going to see a confidence in Allie Mathias that she knows that it's her defenders on her heels.
Carmea tried that baseline hook, didn't go, and back comes FSK.
Great court vision.
Watkins, nice move to get to the basket, but didn't quite get the shot to fall. And the Mavs will slow it down. Bounce pass into Carmea Bowman, number 20. She'll take it from the free throw line.
Beautiful. Oh.
It was a good look and a good shot.
Yeah,
just
just
a
not
little
getting
short.
not getting the roll tonight, Pat. And you have those nights
That's
every once in a while.
You didn't have too many of those, did you?
There was nights when I was rolling and nights when I was not. Yes.
Every basketball player has those
Yeah.
nights. That's true. And there's Mathias.
Great
Used the left hand
finish.
that time.
Is that on my?
No, I think that would have been on number 13, possibly.
Okay.
Chopper. We'll see the play. We'll see the replay.
Great finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's not on. Yeah.
Yep. Mark again, but that's Carmea. She can't play her
She
full
can't.
defense on that kind of a play.
And to your point, she typically may have her body in there, but she just
Absolutely.
can't take the chance.
Free throw strong, but
Oh.
ooh, I think Chopper
Tough
thought it
bounce
went
for
off
the
the
Mavs
core,
there.
but it did not. And so Key enjoying an 8-point lead. Things have certainly changed a bit since that opening quarter. Of course, plenty of game left, but the Eagles are sort of asserting themselves here early in this third quarter. Rieger. Brooks will take that three. A little long, but Watkins there for the board.
And if you're Key right now, you really don't need to rush. I mean,
Correct.
the momentum, as we've seen since halftime started or ended, is still in their favor. It's going to go the other way. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's a foul on Mathias. It's going to be a push. Yep. It was a loose ball. Key had some nice passes on that possession, just didn't quite give Carmea the steal. And then
Yeah.
Mathias, there, she was going for the ball, but Mathias gets called for the foul.
Yeah, slightly.
Mavs have the back.
Great dribble drive penetration kick out for Emma Penchik.
And Stottlemyre hits that three. Now she's coming at it from the other angle
She
here. and
was very versatile.
She can be lethal from the three as well.
She can. And that's what Manchester Valley, we talked about that a little bit in the pregame, how getting on a roll with a three-pointer can really flip
Well, that
the
cuts it to
momentum in the
5, right? That cuts it to 5, and then Key turns it over. A little bit of a forced pass there down low, and it's out of bounds to the Mavericks.
We're seeing a full court press here
I
from
see
Francis
it.
Scott Key. Ooh,
And the Penchik's found her way around the guard there. Bowman. Stottlemyre back out to Penchik. And guess who's on the board?
Nice finish. Well executed by the Mavericks
Give the
there.
assist to Penchik and give the layup to Bowman, and almost another turnover by the Eagles.
Yeah.
And it's a 3-point game.
I think they see Emma Penchik and they think about turning it over. I'm not sure. She has that effect on defense.
So there's Mathias trying to go against Bowman. We give Bowman credit. That
Yeah.
was good defense by Carmea.
She wasn't stepping out of that lane.
Oh, it was a good pass down low, but Stottlemyre able to corral it. And a turnover, though. And here come the Eagles. Watkins.
Somebody take that block. Ooh.
Probably. Oh, nope. Alan Mathias says, don't worry, I can get up on my own.
Yeah.
Penchik went for it on the loose ball. I think Mathias wanted a foul, and they went ahead and didn't call it, and then last touched by the Eagles.
Man Valley has proven the last couple times down the court that they can execute their set plays, and I think that is really going to be key for them to continue to remain within striking distance here.
3 minutes into the third quarter, and FSK leads 29-26, but Man Valley is on a little bit of a heater right now. The turnover. Abby Rieger, a little strong. Watkins got stripped.
Good defense.
Aubrey Chopper, 13, tried to go up with it. It's going to stay here with Man Valley. Some good defensive play here on both ends of the court.
Yeah, I would not say either of these teams are taking the game the easy way out tonight.
No.
Whether
No
you're
comfortable
county
leads.
champions or not,
Correct.
this obviously means something to them.
Correct. No comfortable leads in this one. I don't think either coach thought this would be a pull-away game or anything like that. So
No.
Neither did we, by the way.
Correct.
They're definitely using Carmea to kind of get it inside and back out, in and out. That three-pointer by Meredith, number 5. But they're definitely using Carmea as their point pass, and then she's trying to get it out to the wings. Watkins will go baseline.
Woo!
Ooh, foul called, and let's see who that's on.
Somebody got there before Carmea did.
Maybe. We'll see. Can't see, but right now Drew Watkins is on the line for 2. Foul might have been on Reese Crestline, number 11. It's hard.
Okay.
It was kind of hard to see who they called it on. Short. Free throws are few and far between in this game so far. Second one goes for Drew Watkins. Four-point lead for the Eagles. Carmea staying in, so the foul either wasn't called on her or Heather's rolling the dice.
I think somebody else stepped in and
I
took
think
it from.
so.
Yeah. Every once in a while when you play, you if your friend's in foul trouble, you put your hand up and say, that was me. I've got fouls to give.
Sportsmanship, or
Yeah.
I should say gamesmanship.
Yeah, I've got fouls to give.
Yep, yep. So stoppage of play here. Halfway mark of the third quarter. That might have been a clock issue. I'm
Okay,
not sure.
I was just saying, nothing is obvious to me.
No,
It looks like we're trying to make a
now.
substitution.
Yeah, but the officials stopped the clock. Looks like they're checking with the scorers table to see what's going on. So got it straightened out. Shot clock winding down. Meredith taking a 3. Little long, and FSK with the rebound. Abby Rieger, number 3, comes up with it.
Good board by Abby, and that's not her first hustle play of the night.
It is not. Watkins wanted to go baseline. Instead, they bring it back up top. Raina Miller back in the game for FSK. She'll pass to Abby Rieger. 3, and there's the alley-oop.
I'll give that one an alley-oop, yeah.
Rieger comes up short. Watkins cleans it up.
Not the way it was drawn up, but it worked.
It went in.
Yes.
Most important part, right?
Absolutely. You get style points.
That's game film. Time to look at that game film to see really what was going on.
Yeah.
Reese Crestline takes it up to the hole. That goes a little bit long. Emma Penchik will try a shot. Carmea Bowman the rebound and goes.
That one does fall. Great hustle.
Give her 4 points now, and it's a 32-28 game with 2:50 left in the third.
See a little bit of pressure on the ball as it's coming up the court, and I expect we'll see that on both ends.
We'll dribble off her knee, I think. So Watkins wanted to go baseline. Man Valley was tight on the defense, and Watkins commits the turnover. And Man Valley has a chance to chip into the lead a little bit more.
Yeah, we've seen some consistent good sets from Man Valley.
Not going away either.
No, absolutely not.
Molly Smith, number 12. Almost a steal by Brooks. Good extra pass.
There's Autumn again.
A little long, and I think it went out of bounds before Carmea could grab the rebound. Yep. Stottlemyre likes that corner 3.
She does. It's been a high percentage shot for her tonight.
She's hit a couple of them here tonight so far.
Whoa.
Defense, a little too much defense on
Yeah.
Matthias. I'm going to call a foul on Molly Smith, I think.
Molly, we saw her play down at Liberty.
We
Very
did.
aggressive
We
player, and just even to start the game, she had a real nice hard drive in for a layup. But
Yeah, she came in there trying to get a tie up, and
Yeah.
a little too frisky with the hands there, I
I
think.
agree. Yeah.
Raina Miller, Matthias, long cross court. Matthias will
She
take
should
that
not-
3.
Yeah, she probably wishes she would have taken it the first time.
I think so.
Yeah.
Watkins sensed it, I think, give it back to her, but her second attempt a little bit strong. And Bowman gets inside.
Great little dribble drive move, baseline, nice left-handed finish.
2-point game, 32-30. Rieger. Miller thought about it. Ooh, long pass, almost intercepted by Molly Smith.
Molly is right there again. Yeah.
Miller likes that three.
Woo!
Nice mark, too, by Raina Miller.
And that 3 likes Raina. Good for her. She is on fire
She's up to
tonight.
9 points now.
Yeah, beautiful.
3 threes, and again, 4 threes the other night against Westminster. So 7 in the last 2 games. I think she had not hit that many the whole season before that. So when you're hot, you're hot. Ooh, a little bit of a underneath the hoop shot there from Smith. And Rieger wisely pulls it back out.
Great decision.
Yep. Down to Brooks. And they'll run their offense with 1:09 left in the quarter. Matthias wants it.
Great handles
Brooks
by
takes
Summer
it.
Brooks. That's
She
impressive.
wanted some contact. No
Yeah.
call, and it's going to be a 2-on-none. Now, Penchik probably should have passed that off to a teammate.
Yeah.
Brooks is down there still.
Get it this way.
Carmea can't play that strong defense, but
No.
Brooks misses the shot. And back we go with Man Valley. Carmea was in position, though.
Well, you gotta guard her.
Guess what?
Yeah.
She's up to 8 points now. And we have a timeout called by Key. 30-second timeout for the Eagles.
Good timeout by Coach Devlin. I think he senses a shift of momentum and is probably saying, remember number 20 on Manchester Valley, we need to guard her.
especially when she gets down low. Let's go ahead and take a look at that last 3 from Raina Miller. You mentioned that the 3 likes her too. I mean, she just knows where she can hit it from that wing.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And Summer
really
Brooks,
good arc.
I know we can't replay it, but she barely held the ball. She has fantastic handles and her court vision and
almost
that
like a
pass there.
Yep.
You know, it was in her hands, out of her hands.
A touch pass, right?
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if she plays volleyball or what, but she has also quietly really made a difference in this game with the way that she's been the court general for the Eagles.
She's no doubt has a handful of assists.
Yeah.
No, she hasn't scored a ton of points, but foul called on Man Valley. And you see Kenzie Bancroft back in
somebody
the game.
fell out of frame, and I don't think
it was
on
Matthias.
purpose, yeah.
Not intentionally, huh? So 35-32. What are we going to call here?
Wow.
Wow, I thought that went off Man Valley, but they're going to give the ball to the Mavericks.
That's why we need to be in person to see the.
They're going to confer here. Hold on. All right.
Yeah.
Good job by the officials. Talk it over.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
was it off the official's ankle?
It went off Penchik's. It went off Penchik's hand and then hit the official.
Okay,
I think.
all right,
So
yeah.
I think he's explaining that to the referee,
Okay.
to Man Valley's side. So I think they got the call right.
yeah, absolutely.
Eagles holding it, 3-point lead.
Great post up and pin by
And
Ali
a
Matthias.
nice
They just didn't get it to
interception by,
her.
I think that might have been, give that one to Emma Schaefer, 25, getting her hand in that passing lane. And the Mavs could tie with a 3 here in the final seconds, and there's Penchik. Ooh. A little bit off the mark.
Each team has had a couple 3-point attempts tonight, well beyond the arc, without defense in their face. So I'm just curious as to why some of those attempts. But wow, look at that, Molly.
Molly Smith trying to get one
almost.
off at the buzzer. She had a little more time.
Yeah, great clock awareness by Molly to be able to not only get that steal, but turn it into a potential opportunity.
And we've reached the end of the third quarter with FSK leading 35-32. Is this a new tradition at FSK, the country roads at the start of the fourth quarter? I kind of
Is
like
it?
it. I kind of like it. No,
Okay,
I'm asking. I don't know.
I don't know.
Haven't been to Key yet for a game this year in person, but we've certainly seen FSK this year, and they've handled almost every single challenge that they've faced. The 2 losses they've had, one was their season opener by 1 point to Catoctin, who they in turn beat at their holiday tournament by 20.
They got him back, yeah.
They got him back in a big way. They
Yeah.
also lost to Williamsport, which is a 2A powerhouse from this year, and it took a 40-point effort from one of the Wildcats players to beat Key by 9. So other than those 2 games, Key's met every challenge with a victory, and they're in the lead here, but Man Valley wants nothing more than to hand the Eagles their first county loss. Now, again, they've already clinched the county title, but they still have this game and one more in the county to play. So plenty of motivation on both sides, Emily, with 1 quarter to go.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been fun to watch so far, and really, we alluded to it when we went through the starters, 1 to 5. You know, every part of this game where there has been people on the court, you've really not seen an exponential let-off one way or the other.
Right.
So every single one of these girls wearing a jersey tonight has come to play.
No doubt, and we saw Carmea sort of emerge in that third quarter with 8 points, and that's with 3 fouls. I don't think she came out much, if at all,
I don't think
in
she
that
did
third
it
quarter.
either.
So
Yeah.
a gamble from Heather DeWeese paid off, at least in the third quarter. She's out right now.
Great composure from
Even
a player to play with 3
Oh,
fouls.
no doubt. Even playing some baseline defense on some of their drives. Casey Meredith starts with a 3, and we got a tie game.
Yeah.
Her first points of the night.
The Man Valley bench is pumped.
I saw it.
Yeah. Oh.
There's a long pass intercepted by Emma Schaefer, 25. And here come the Mavericks. Trying to get it to Autumn Stottlemyre, just a little bit out of her reach. But Man Valley starting off this first 30 seconds with authority.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they knew what play they were running coming out of that huddle of the quarter. And nothing makes a coach happier to see it be executed and capitalized upon.
And here comes that pressure.
Yep, it's a 3-quarter court pressure. And even if there's not a steal, it does make you tired.
But when you've got good, solid guards, usually with Rieger and Brooks,
Yeah.
it's going to put that emphasis on the defense to be strong and not foul, and you get a foul there by Molly Smith.
Yeah, and you see that with Molly. The guards for Key are just so they're so quick and they're so agile. You really do have to sit down, and if you're going to play that type of defense, you really got to move your feet. And when you don't, that's unfortunately a block.
Smith coming out of the game. I think that might be some foul trouble for her now, too. There's inside to Caroline Core. Ooh. Try to get it back out to Rieger. Emma Penchik swipes it. Number 2, another steal. And the Mavs can take the lead here.
Yeah.
There's a 3-pointer. A little strong. Rebound to Caroline Core with some help from Matthias.
You can see Man Valley's defense. There's only one person down there rebounding because I don't think they want to get beat on the fast break again.
Yeah, I noticed
everybody else is back.
Some changes,
yeah.
right. Matthias took that jumper from the free throw line maybe a little bit early.
Ooh.
Oh. Try to make something happen there between you defenders. Pretty good defense by Key.
Yeah, they're really limited. Great ball movement, but really at the end of it, no.
Yeah, Aubrey Chopper got kind of caught up in the air.
Good defense by Allie
I was
Matthias,
going to
just
say
kind of holding her
fast
ground.
with her hands up. Yeah, we got a foul, another foul. And Chopper is
negotiating with somebody.
coming out.
Yeah.
I think they were going for a pass, and
Okay.
Matthias was going for it, and so was Chopper, and the foul called on Chopper. So she's out of the game now with some fouls. Eagles ball, 6.5 left.
Sometimes you just got to get your money's worth, Pat.
Well,
you
you
know,
gotta
you
get
got
'em.
you got 5.
You just don't want to have them come in the wrong time. And
Yeah.
another foul.
Whew.
So they are playing aggressive defense.
You
That's
know-
Emma Schaefer, 25. So that's what Penchik and her teammates are telling everybody. Hey, look,
Yeah.
they're going to be on the free throw line here soon. And actually, they are.
And you see who is always on the receiving end of those fouls. So I don't think that is. I think that's by design. So if we're going to foul, let's make it worth it.
That's a good point. The only thing I would say is there's 6.5 minutes left, and we're at 1-1. So we're in
Yeah.
the bonus already, which is not a good sign if you're Man Valley. Now you got to hit the free throws, which Matthias does.
Yeah, great
the
stroke
freshman.
there.
Hits them both. So Allie Matthias with a pair at the line. And the Eagles back up by 2, and there's a
Summer
turnover.
Brooks, yeah.
Summer Brooks.
That's a great basketball name, Summer Brooks.
Long 3. Nice rebound by Meredith, Casey Meredith.
This is where a packed gym on a Friday night can really be in your favor as you hear the air ball chant there.
Or to your detriment when you're not, when the shots aren't falling, as
Yep.
Reese Crestline
Yeah.
took that shot and didn't find the rim.
Ooh, a little too
Tried
much.
to go into
Yeah.
Caroline Core just a little bit too much, too strong. 6 minutes to go. 5:51, sorry, to go.
Round up.
I looked up and it changed.
Yeah.
5:51 left in the fourth. FSK leading by 2. Good game here on CMSportsNet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. Crest line. Nice pass to Penchik, just a little strong on the
great cut.
baseline. But a nice design there by Reese Crestline and the Penchik. Just could not get the shot to fall, and Summerbrook's going to slow it down.
Sometimes you're too wide open. You get under there and you feel like you should have defense on you.
It's positioning too,
Yeah.
right? By the time you receive that pass, you're a little bit under the basket.
Yeah.
You know you want to put it up still, but Rieger, nice stutter step.
Nice move.
Nice move by Abby Rieger. Her first points, I believe, and the sophomore guard gives the Eagles a 39-35 lead with 5 minutes to go.
That's big.
Can the Mavericks respond? Carmea Bowman back in the game for Man Valley. Still their ball. Somebody's wide open underneath. That was Casey Meredith. Crest line. Meredith. Nice pass to Bowman.
Wow.
Well done by the Mavericks.
Very well executed, Casey Meredith there. Nice patience, shot clock's running down, and she was able to stay under control and find a wide open Carmea Bauman.
10 for her now, Bowman, and it's a long 3 from Summer Brooks.
That's in Frederick County too.
Matthias got blocked by Bowman. Here come the Mavericks. And a foul called. Oh, they're going to call an offensive foul.
Maybe we'll get a replay of that. I'm critical of charges, but
Wow, I thought that was a block.
I thought she was moving
referee
too.
saw it different.
Yeah.
Let's see here. You be the
good
judge.
replay. Oh,
Summer liked it.
yeah.
And either way, whatever we think, the call was offensive foul.
Sure. We don't wear the stripes.
Summer Brooks was pumped on that
Yeah.
defensive play.
I like that.
And a turnover.
Charges are the best.
And turnover back to the Eagles. Raina Miller. Ooh. She was trying to kiss one off the glass.
Yeah.
I think Matthias thought there was some contact that never came, and travel call. Maybe a little bit rushed once in a while, the Eagles. If there's one thing they do a little bit that they could work on, and this is my opinion, of course, what do I know, but they seem to rush a little bit on offense and sometimes gets them into some trouble spots.
Yeah.
But, of course, they're talented enough they've been able to make up for it all
You know,
year.
a lot of offensives, Pat. You have option 1, option 2, option 3. Great downtown shot there
Speaking of
from
3,
Casey Meredith. Yeah,
Casey
option
Meredith
3.
gives
Casey,
Man Valley the lead, 40-39. Oh, that's going to be...
Or did they touch it?
They did not.
That's what Emma's
a
trying to
backcourt
argue.
call.
Yeah.
Mavericks on a little bit of a run here.
Great game tonight. A couple different
Yeah.
lead changes, and it is going to come down to the last 3 minutes and 41 seconds.
I think you're right. 3 a little short.
Yeah. Oh, turnover right below the basket.
There's that bounce pass, but now
Yeah.
it goes to Crestline, and she scores
Great
off the glass.
finish. Great finish. That has been in a couple different sets the go-to cut tonight, that baseline backdoor cut for the Mavs.
4-point lead for the Mavericks. Watch out, there's Penchik.
There she is. Oh,
Now you want to maybe slow it down a teeny bit, but you also want to ride the hot hand.
that's right. You don't want to get out of control either. Good take by
that
Autumn
was out of control.
Stottlemyre. Nice job, Autumn.
Stottlemyre, that is a run for Man Valley, and look
That's
at him.
right.
44-39 with 3:01 left to go. We got ourselves a Man Valley run.
We do. It'll be interesting to see how Francis Scott Key responds to this. To your point, there's no quit in that team, but
Right.
this is a perfectly timed run for Manchester
Yeah.
Valley. Obviously, not so perfect for Francis Scott Key. So
I mean, yeah, no, Man Valley was sort of teetering on the edge
Yeah.
there as Key was hitting those shots earlier in the quarter, but Man Valley has come alive, and it's really been Carmea Bowman in the second half, playing with 3 fouls, not getting that fourth foul. Of course, now at this point, it doesn't matter. We're already into the second half of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
She's played a great second half.
To your point, too, about Francis Scott Key, you know, it's tough to play defense for 30 seconds. So if they would sit down and actually run through those second, third, fourth, fifth options in their offense, you know, the likelihood of them getting a wide open Allie Mathias under the basket probably very, very high. But instead, they're kind of rushing some shots. We've seen both teams tonight take some attempts from about 4 feet beyond the arc, and you have to wonder sometimes is that the best that we can do?
Well, right now, it's a 5-point advantage for the Eagles.
For the Mavs.
Excuse me, the Mavs. I'm sorry. Yep, for Man Valley.
Fast math.
Geography.
That too.
Well, what do the Eagles have here for a response?
Let's see.
Watkins, we haven't heard a little bit of. Is
Someone
Summer Brooks going to be the answer? Ooh, going for a rebound.
It's going to
Where are we
stay.
staying? Carmea went for it, and off of her hands, I believe. So
Right in front of the student section.
stays with right in front of Beard's Bunch. I think that's what they call
Is that what
themselves
it's called?
up there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in Beard Gymnasium, so the student section is Beard's Bunch.
It's a pirate ring.
At least it
to
used to be.
Yeah.
A Blackbeard.
Ooh.
Ooh, Watkins with was that designed? Either way, it went in. I was like, throw it off the glass to myself and put it back in for, that's drawn up that way, right?
I am not sure what the technical term for that. I know an alley-oop all day, every day, but I'm not sure.
Horseshoe on that one? Regardless, it goes in.
Slamma-jamma?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it goes in for 2, and it's a 44-41 lead now for the Mavericks.
That helps Key big time.
Oh, try to get it to Bowman, and Core intercepts it. So here come the Eagles now as we get to the 2-minute mark left in this game.
This is exactly as the Eagles should be advancing up the court. Let's set up our play. Let's get some looks. Let's get some rotation.
That was a nice pass to get to Core.
Yeah.
It almost got that to fall, but it didn't quite have the net in mind, and Carmea Bowman comes up with the rebound, and now the clock is your friend if you're Manchester Valley.
So now let's see Manchester Valley look for options 2, 3, 4 perhaps, unless it's wide open.
Oh, in and out to 3. Where are we going? We're going back to FSK.
Yeah, it's going to be. Carmea must have gotten her fingertips on it.
FSK with the ball.
Woo!
Oh, yep, that's good play, and probably a good foul because
Yeah.
I think Core was going to go up and score on that layup. So
Yeah.
nice pass from Watkins, too.
Yeah, great, well-executed press break.
So Caroline Core will go to the line for 2 pretty big free throws here in the final minute and a half of the game.
These are going to be key. Again, these are free points.
And she gets 2
I'm sure she feels the pressure.
as a sophomore.
Yeah, right in front of the student section. Get in there.
Got the first one. Pretty easy, too, for Caroline Core. 6-foot sophomore forward for the Eagles.
See Abby Rieger back in there. She's made a couple big plays tonight, so great substitution by Coach Devlin.
Well, they're going to need the sure-handed guards in the backcourt in these final few possessions. Little Strong, and the rebound to Stottlemyre, who may have gotten away with a little hook there, but unlikely to call that one.
No, absolutely.
2-point game, though, 44-42.
Get the student section all riled up.
Right in front of them,
Yeah,
right, no doubt.
there you go, guys.
A little bit of a zone now for Key, right?
Yeah, we're seeing a zone here. Typically, the key to the zone is you get it in the middle, you try to break it. So there you go, in the middle, back out.
Oh, this is a big one. I
Oh,
thought she traveled. And they called a block. Might have got away with a jump or two there. Let's see. I don't know if... No, maybe not. Nope, I'm wrong.
yeah.
I'm wrong, and a good call.
Just hands on the ball, I guess, as she went up. So
Good call. It's a body there
Yep.
underneath. I think that was a good call. So Reese Crestline at the line for 2. 2 big ones. If she gets them both, we're in a 2-possession game with under a minute to go. Makes the first one.
It's huge. It's big.
It's a good stroke by Reese Crestline.
Big time shot by
Number 11.
number 11.
Yep.
Number 11, 11th grade, 5'11".
A lot of 11s.
I think it's lucky 11, right?
Well, if she makes this, it's 1 and 1 for the three free throws as well, and she does.
Atta girl.
So now you got a 2-possession game for Manchester Valley, 46-42. A lot of time left, but the 2-possession game is a big deal if you're the Mavs.
And to no surprise, Raina Miller coming in. We've seen her step up and hit some big threes tonight. I expect they might be drawing up a play to get her post set up or spotted up for a 3.
Pick that dribble up. That was a quick. Into the half court.
There she is.
If you're Man Valley, you're going to play that stretchy zone. Rieger, Brooks, they got to start moving if they want to score.
You have to step
here.
outside the 3-point line here. Play defense. Good take.
Rieger. I think Rieger was out of bounds when she. I think Rieger was out of bounds when she tried to hit it off Carmea.
I think so too.
Bowman.
Good effort, yeah.
And a timeout. 31.8 seconds left. And it's a 46-42 Man Valley lead. The Mavericks will have the ball, I believe, under the basket after that play into the hoop.
I expect we'll see what we used to call a diamond-in-one press or a man-on-man press, you know, full court, up in their face. Key's got a lot of length. They could put Allie Mathias or Caroline Core, if she's in the game, on the ball, and that makes it very, very difficult when you have a 6-foot, you know, person in front of you to try to inbounds.
Absolutely.
You may see some face guarding here in the defensive side of the Eagles. I think they're going to do whatever they can to get the ball back.
31.8 seconds left. Man Valley has possession. It's going to be in maybe a second or two or three, even 3 or 4 seconds to try to for a steal, and then you got to think about fouling, right?
Yeah, and we got to watch long here too. At Emma, she's solid too.
And the foul call.
Yeah.
So they have some fouls to give. So that was one.
Yeah.
Right in front of the Eagles bench. And
Yeah,
there's the play.
there it
Carmea
is.
gets away.
You can't. Yeah. Great take. Good finish.
That might do it.
Right-handed, yeah.
That might do it. Of course, she goes to the right hand at the end of the game.
I didn't even know she had a right
Oh,
hand.
you don't want to commit fouls
Yeah.
and stop the clock. Autumn Stottlemyre with a little reach in there. 48-42 with 21 seconds left, but the clock stops. That's just not.
Autumn Stottlemyre's played a very aggressive
She has.
game, and she's made a big impact
She
in
has.
this game.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
so sometimes coming down the stretch, you know, you just can't tune it down. You know, you can't go from volume 10 to 5 just like that.
Right.
So
It's just in those situations.
not ideal, but you can't blame her.
Abby Rieger gets a chance for 2.
Come on out.
A little short on that one, or short off the mark, I should say. Man Valley in control here with 21.5 seconds to go.
I watched Maryland get beat by Duke years ago with less than a minute on the
You
clock,
did.
down by 10.
I just watched that as well.
And I watched it in person at Cole Fieldhouse, so there's
Oh.
always a chance.
There you go. Not a great memory if you're a Terrapins fan.
No, not a good memory.
Rieger gets another one here. Try to make it a 5-point game. Both miss.
Oh, good
Mathias
putback.
with a
Oh.
putback, no. Man Valley, the rebound, and I think now we may be going to, well, let's see, maybe not. Still had fouls to give. Crestline will inbound it. And Meredith draws a foul. So they might still have another foul to give. I guess there was a lot of fouls on the Man Valley side, but not so many on Key's side.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's a turnover. So 6-point lead, 14.3 to go. The pressure worked there for Man Valley,
It
or for
did.
FSK, I should say. But they got to score quick. Raina Miller, I think Reese Crestline got a piece of that one.
I think so. I think that was tipped.
And it's going to go back to the Mavericks. And with 8.5 seconds left, that might do it.
It's a good call there.
Just make sure you set this up. And if you're Man Valley, you know you just want to try to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, nothing stupid, nothing
Right.
aggressive,
They're
nothing
gonna
out of
foul you.
frustration.
Right, exactly.
You know, you're in a game like this. It has come down to the last, less than a minute in the game, and it ended up being the team that went on the latest run that it's going
It was
to more
Manchester
than likely
Valley.
come away with the victory here. So stay composed. Big Friday night on the road. County rivalries, probably the top two teams in the county going at it here.
Yep, no doubt.
Keep your emotions under check. You guys all have other games to play at this point.
And they get it to Meredith. Dribbles around a couple defenders and then draws a foul. So they still have a foul to give.
You know, it's
Are they
funny
finally
though,
gonna go to
Pat,
one-on-one?
because
Nope.
it's not one-on-one yet. But watching this game, I haven't felt like, I guess because Manchester Valley's defense has just been that much more intense, like it hasn't felt the fouls were that different.
Yeah, no, but they clearly were. And now we
Yeah.
finally reached the bonus. So that actually hurt. You know, it was good that Key didn't have any foul trouble, but it actually hurt them down the stretch here. They couldn't get the clock to stop
Yeah.
quicker, to get
Yeah.
to get Malley to the free throw line, and that was able to eat some of the clock up.
Sure.
So with 5.7 seconds left, the Mavericks are going to end the winning streak of the Eagles and add a victory against the county champions.
Oh.
Looked like a jump ball. Yeah, they could have called one, but she didn't roll around a little bit, so it's a jump ball back to the Eagles. But with 2.8 to go, this one is in the books.
Just about.
Just about.
Yeah.
Raina Miller will let it go.
Union Bridge. There you go.
Well, that one she had to.
Yeah.
And the final score, Man Valley with an impressive come-from-behind win.
Big win for Man Valley.
48-42.
Yeah, Coach Heather, she's pumped. Double fist pump.
Again, just going up against the team that's already clinched the county title, the team that had won 16 games and hadn't lost in a good few weeks.
Yeah.
It's a pretty impressive win for Manchester Valley.
Absolutely, and you know what? They never let the game get out of hand. There was never a huge point differentiation one
Right.
way or the other in this one, and sometimes those are the most dangerous games because at any given moment they can go any way. So great job for Manchester Valley tonight, but also for Francis Scott Key. They executed a fantastic game plan. I think the matchup inside between Allie Mathias and Carmea Bowman made a huge difference, whether it shows up in the points column or rebound column.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right on it. 48-42 is the final score. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with some post-game interview and a look at the second half. CMSportsNet, Game of the Week. Stick around, Emily, and I'll be right back.
Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Hi, I'm Pat Stetzer. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments. The CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go, locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's To Go, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
It wasn't until after I found out that he was using heroin intravenously that I realized why these shoelaces were missing.
It was to the point where, I either honestly wanted to go to jail or die.
With the increase of the fentanyl and the carfentanil that's coming into the county, we are responding to more overdoses.
Addiction is a progressive disease, but how we respond to someone in crisis can sometimes mean the difference between life and death. Hi, I'm Tim Weber. Join me for Real Talk, a frank discussion with real people who have lived through a crisis, parents who have experienced a devastating loss, and first responders and counselors who are on the front line, helping to save lives. Hear the rest of their stories on Real Talk.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
It's our new podcast, and each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss the Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
The postgame report is sponsored by Genova's To Go. Locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
Welcome back. CMSportsNet Girls Basketball Game of the Week. Pat Stetzer with Emily Miller and Man Valley finishing off Francis Scott Key 48-42. Standing by with us is one of the stars of the game, and that's Man Valley senior Carmea Bowman. Held scoreless in the first half, came up strong in the second half. Carmea, this is Pat back at the studio. First of all, congrats on the win. Second off, I wanted to ask you this. That first half, we didn't see you in the scoreboard. We definitely saw you in the second half. What'd you do different from one half to the next?
Definitely in the first half, I was moving and looking for my other teammates because I knew they were gonna look for me and guard me more than they would them. So I tried to do that. And then after other people started scoring, they started letting up on me. And then another thing is we would rebound and I would run down the court and be the first one back because they're not a very fast team. So it was easy to get back and get a layup.
Yeah, no doubt. And the play where you have just the bounce play in the post was really working for you in that second half. But, when you have a half like that and you guys were down at halftime, then you go down by, I think, almost 9. There was some timeouts to be had there. What's Coach DeWeese and what are you guys as leaders trying to tell each other, hey, we're not out of this yet. This is a really good team we're playing, but we have to just chip away, and we'll get back into the game?
Definitely that. Well, another thing that motivated us yesterday was that they didn't practice. They went and got ice cream instead of practicing. So it kind of motivated us. So every time we'd have a timeout, Coach Heather would be like, oh, what flavor ice cream? And she'd be like, oh, vanilla ice cream. And it would just motivate us to keep moving.
So what you're saying is this was a sweet win just because of that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Getting a win against them at this stage of the season, they are obviously having a really good year, and so are you guys. This is big for regionals, though, too, right? You need to keep winning to kind of keep that playoff seed high, but to beat them on their court after they beat you guys the last time, a little bit of more, sense of motivation this time out, Carmea?
Oh, definitely. We really wanted this, and we really wanted to win. We wanted to beat the county champions.
Well, you definitely did that tonight. Carmea Bowman, thanks very much for joining us on the postgame show. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, there goes Carmea Bowman. And, that was pretty interesting there. A little bit of talk about some off day by Key and some motivation by Man Valley.
And you know what? Who knows with teenagers? What does it take to motivate you? But, maybe Francis Scott Key thought, look, we've wrapped up the county championship. They're having a fantastic year. So, 16-3 now? That's nothing to not be proud of. It's fantastic. They're going to roll into the playoffs with a lot of momentum. But Man Valley has a statement to make, too. Look, we wanted to be county champions. We're not.
Right.
We're dealing with that.
Right.
We're fixing some things. We've got an incredible team ourselves. And we're bringing the momentum to get to the point where you would have your team at the peak going into playoffs. And tonight, the Man Valley Mavericks, that's what we saw.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from the second half of the 48-42 victory. Man Valley gets the win on FSK's home court. Like Emily said, FSK 10-0 at the point, coming into the game, 10-1 now with one county game to go. Mm-hmm. Still the county champions, but a loss on the ledger is a loss on the ledger, and Man Valley will take that to motivate. So we're going to go ahead and fire up some of those highlights from the second half of this one, where we saw the Mavericks come from behind and beat FSK 48-42. So the game started, we're going to go back to the first half a little bit too here, and we mentioned this at halftime, that the game started strong for FSK, or for Manchester Valley, and that was how they played really good defense. But, Allie Mathias was a little quiet in the first half. She got back into it more in the second half. We're seeing her here, Emily. And a big play there. And Man Valley's really had the control of things in that third quarter.
Yeah, we saw right away, we saw some big shots from Man Valley. They really came out and definitely set the tone. And it's funny with what Carmea just said about the ice cream and Key not practicing, you could see that could really bring you strong out of the locker room. But yeah, Key definitely very impressive play tonight. It wasn't a perfect game, but each team definitely had some shining moments and some great hustle. We see number 15
Drew
there.
Watkins, yeah.
Drew Watkins, big impact player for Francis Scott Key tonight.
But you see Carmea in the second half. Again,
Yeah.
I should have asked her, I forgot. She had the 3 fouls in the first half. That can change how you play the entire game. It didn't really change her second half.
No, and I don't know Carmea personally, but it did. It speaks to her leadership and her composure as a player. You can get 3 fouls in the first half and just decide to mentally check out of the game, but she did quite the opposite, and she alluded to it in the post-game interview. I may not have been scoring in the first half, but I was dishing the ball to my teammates, and a lot of times in the game of basketball, as you give away, then comes back to you, and we saw that tonight for Manchester Valley.
Casey Meredith with a couple big threes down the stretch too to give the Mavs pad their lead a little bit. She's not one to really go offense first, but she definitely hit them when they counted down the stretch.
We saw that from both sides tonight. The
There's
supporting
Abby Rieger
cast.
with a nice baseline
A lot of
move.
times the top stars get the most attention, but tonight there was a night where the supporting cast very evenly scored for the most part.
The Mavs dominated on that play right there, though, Emily, just
that was
all night, especially in the
huge.
second half.
Little backdoor cut, dribble drive, pump fake.
Casey Meredith again with a 3, just a big 3. We'd seen Raina Miller hit one there a minute ago, too, in the highlights, and Key looked to have some control, but Man Valley, it was their night, especially down the stretch in the fourth quarter. There's Reese Crestline scoring down low, and they show why they were the reigning county champions before Key clinched it this year, and a nice move there from Autumn Stottlemyre to sort of help seal the deal down
Autumn
the
had a great
stretch.
game tonight, too. She showed up big for her team. You could tell her heart was in it the whole night.
There's your alley-oop off the glass, slam-a-jamma by Drew Watkins. Hey, it went in, though, right?
It's
And,
creative, yes.
It's creative. That's a good word for it. But then Carmea beats the press here. And, hey, she can score with the right hand, too.
Yeah, she's got a right hand, yeah.
And just the fact that they were able to withstand Key's third quarter, come back, take the lead late, and hold on to the lead with that 48-42 win. Look, you're the coach of the county champions. You can do whatever you guys want the day before. Just know that the other team might take, not offense is the right word, but just a little bit of a, hey, they don't think they need to practice before they play us the second time. We're going to show them why.
Yeah, and I think the girls took it and personal, and Coach DeWeese, being the coach, she probably took it personal as well. And Coach Devlin probably has his reasons for what happened. And to your point, you guys are the county championships. You have nothing to prove, and once we all get into the playoffs, as long as we're not playing with, against each other, we're going to cheer for each other.
Yeah.
But sometimes too, a loss at this point of the season, when you do have the county crown on top of your head, it's a little humbling. And I expect that Coach Devlin's team will come back stronger than ever, and they'll fix what happened tonight. They'll explore those options in their offense. They'll take a look at some of the turnovers and some of the steals, and I know they'll come back stronger.
They did good things tonight. It wasn't as if they played a bad game. It's just Man Valley was a little bit stronger in the end.
Yeah.
And a little sweeter without that ice cream.
That's right. Now I'm thinking about ice cream.
I know, I'm a chocolate chip guy myself, but we'll see how it goes.
Coconut chocolate chip.
Ooh, that's very good. That's very good. Well, then it's off to Hoffman's after this, but we're going to go ahead and say goodbye for the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Emily Miller, thanks very much again for giving us some of your time tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm Pat Stetzer from CMSportsNet, and we will see you next time. Have a good evening, everybody.
Skill, dedication, leadership. Just a few of the things it takes to be named CM Sportsnet's Athlete of the Week. Hi, I'm Pat Stetzer. Each week, CM Sportsnet recognizes an outstanding player for their contribution to their sport. Meet some of Carroll County student athletes and join us as we celebrate their performance, impact, and outstanding accomplishments. The CM Sportsnet Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Genova's To Go, locations in Westminster, Manchester, Hampstead, Hanover, and coming soon, Eldersburg. Genova's To Go, pizza, pasta, subs, and more.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
It wasn't until after I found out that he was using heroin intravenously that I realized why these shoelaces were missing.
It was to the point where, I either honestly wanted to go to jail or die.
With the
Hey there, I'm Pat Stetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
It's our new podcast, and each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss The Score and More podcast, presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports Podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.